You know, one of my favorite things about owning a Jeep is the fact that you can customize it so much. You can buy all kinds of different mods, and most of them you can install yourself. Now, I did do a custom grille on my Jeep, but now it's time to work on this plastic bumper. You know, it's stock, it's plastic, it looks cheap, it is cheap. It's time to get rid of it. Plus, I want to mount a winch on here for recovery and doing off-road. So this guy's got to go, and that's what I'm going to do today. Is I'm going to show you how to take off the factory bumper off your Jeep JL, which is 2018 and newer, and I'm going to put on a RedRock Full Width Bumper that they delivered like this. So I'm kind of hoping that it's okay in there, but since it's a heavy-duty bumper, I think we'll be okay. I swear, some of the delivery on mail, FedEx, UPS, it doesn't matter who you use. I mean, this kind of stuff is unreal. Let's just hope this thing is not damaged. Now, I purchased this from extremeterrain.com. Why don't you tell us down in the comments where you get your mods for your Jeep. I can't say much about extremeterrain.com yet because this is the first time I've purchased from them, but we'll see how it goes. Looks like we have some hardware, fog lamp system, brochures, and our bumper, all bubble wrapped. And this is the RedRock Full Width Bumper with fog lights. Nice and heavy duty, made of steel, powder coated. Let's take a look at the first step under the Jeep here. Underneath the Jeep, we have this skid plate here. That's the first thing we need to deal with. We have a trim bolt on that side over here as well, 2 trim bolts. And then it looks like it has some trim bolts underneath there that I should be able to use a screwdriver and get out. So this bolt and this bolt over here, I'm gonna use an 8mm socket. Trim bolts, there's a little groove right in the side of it. If you stick a screwdriver in there, you won't need a trim tool because you can just kind of pry it out. Just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the end. I'm being careful on these last 2 because that's all that's holding it up. There's our skid plate cover, and the reason we took it off is so we can get access to the bolts that hold the bumper on a little easier. And that's a 16mm. And same thing on the other side. Now to get this off, right here, there's a little piece that bends back behind the frame. And so you just push up and it'll slide out. There we go. And this is a 16mm, same as the other one. You don't have to worry about the bumper falling on you because it slides onto the frame. So you can take all 4 out safely. Not a whole lot of room to work here though. Show you this in case you struggle with this, but this little piece right here attached to the side of the wiring harness connection, and then up here where it was hard to get to, it popped in this little hole up here. It's just a trim nut, and that kept it from dangling. It kept it up tight against the frame. However, to get these disconnected, you really need to just pull that out, and that's what I did, and take this off of the housing of the wiring harness, and then you can easily press in on the two sides and pull them apart. Now on each side of the frame we have these two bolts, and these are 18 millimeter, and you have two there. On the other side you have two on this side of the frame and two on the back side of the frame. And that should be all that's left, keeping the bumper attached to the frame. These are a little stiffer. Now we have just some trim nuts here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or we might just be able to take out these two, actually. 1 and 2, and maybe the whole thing will slide loose then. Same thing over here. Pull that part, the top out, and then that'll slide out. All right, that should be it. Now we should just be able to slide this off. Yeah, wow. And step 1 of this mod is complete. We got the existing factory bumper off, and now it's time to go ahead and put the new one on. I'm just gonna go ahead and lay it out here for now and start getting the parts ready and getting this thing ready to go up on the Jeep. All right, here's the current situation. I got everything unboxed. We have our 002 nuts. We have our 004 flat washers. And then we have our 003 lock washers. Now these are the fog lights that came with the bumper. However, if you look, this one's cracked. Now I'm sure they'll replace it. But the question is I believe I can use the factory fog lights if I just take them out of the bumper, but I'm not positive about that, so we're gonna need to check on that. And there's our fog light. Now the question is will that one fit the new bumper? All of these guys, and we're gonna take this off. Unhook the fog light from the wiring harness by pushing in on this side. Same thing over here. My guard dog. Wiring harness goes down under the plastic molding and you just pull it through. I didn't realize that, but now I do. So this side has two connections on it, so it's gonna be easier to pull that side this way. Little guys are holding the wiring harness, and so I'm gonna have to push them in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because as you can see, if I pull on it, nothing happens. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. our wiring harness. Now it's time to take these 4 bolts off and take out the fog light. These little guys are 7mm. Now let's see if these are the same size. They're the same size. However, this mounting bracket doesn't fit. So I'm going to use this bulb, if at all possible, with the mounting bracket here. And use some self-tapping screws to secure the old ones to the new bumper. And I think that would be, I mean, hopefully that's the best option, rather than having to do this, you know, after the bumper's already on, waiting for them to come in the mail, and, you know, the chance of getting something else that's wrong or broken. So let's see if we can make this work. I've got the fog light mounted into the bumper. I got the harness back into the fog light. The wire comes around, and what I did is I wrapped it around this frame because you're going to be able to see through these holes. So I wanted to keep the wiring harness, one, out of the way of mounting the bumper back to the frame, as well as being able to see it through these holes. And so I wrapped it around this one, and I wrapped it around this one, and that should give me just enough flex to keep it underneath of the frame and out of visibility from the front through those holes. We have 4 bolts on each side, and those bolts go right in those 4 holes. Now I'm going to try to get these bolts lined up and through the holes and see if I can't do this by myself. So I could do the 2 inside ones from up here where the winch is gonna go, but I gotta do the outside from underneath. All right, so now I can put these back on, and we'll go ahead and mount these nuts and that bolt. Okay, so this is a different size bolt here, so we're going to put our flat washer that came with the bumper, and our lock washer, and then our nut. That'll go on there. I believe this one goes here. Then we'll do the same thing on the other side of this part of the frame. As well as the same thing on this side. Loose fit to the frame. Now it's time to go ahead and tighten everything up. And this is our 5/8 or 16mm, and this is gonna hold the this bracket to the Jeep. We'll go ahead and tighten these 2 and the 2 that are on the other side of that part of the frame, and we'll do these 2 and then the 2 that are on the outside part of that frame. And I believe this is the same size, either 5/8 or 16mm. Yep. And then I'll hit them all one final time once I get them all nice and snug. And if you remember, it had these little things here that slide down in the hole up on the frame. I want to be careful because my wiring harnesses right there. If you see, that's the top of the metal part of the skid plate. If you look through there, I can't get the notch up quite high enough to go into the slot. However, the hole lines up with the frame, so I think I can kind of muscle this in there. What I did is I just bent those little tabs out just a little bit on each side, and now she fits. I love it when a plan comes together. You never know what obstacles you're going to face. You just kind of, you got to roll with it and see what you can do to make things happen when things do pop up. The plastic cover of the skid plate would not fit back on with this bumper, and I knew that, but I wasn't sure what it was going to look like. The good thing is now, though, is these bolts are pretty accessible to, and I think I probably will buy another, nicer skid plate than this little rinky-dink metal thing that's there now. I just to protect the Jeep, and that'd be easy. That'd be a simple couple bolt-ons, and I did keep the screws that go underneath and screwed them back in, and that way I can just reuse them.
The reason I chose this bumper is because it's a full width bumper. It's got a nice look to it that fits with the Jeep, and it really wasn't all that expensive. It's a pretty good value. Got pretty good ratings, and you see here 4.5 stars with 113 reviews. I think that's pretty good. $654.99. The shipping, I paid extra for the shipping and didn't really get a whole lot of extra service, but it is what it is. I am going to contact them about the fog lights. Maybe I can get comped something or whatever for that, since I use the existing fog lights. I like the existing fog light system better as it is. If you're interested in more information about this bumper, I'll leave the link to Extreme Terrain's site down in the video description. I appreciate you guys watching. Tell us where you buy your aftermarket stuff down in the comments below. I hope you guys have a good week. I'll talk to you in the next video.